All right, we're live streaming on Facebook now. That's what it's telling me. So hopefully that's true. Let me see here. There it goes. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Stacey Jordan from Enviroloom. And Enviroloom is a wholesale Christmas company, Christmas lighting and decor. And then I have some guests here with us today. Oh, look, it's coming up on my screen. Let me make sure that we're really live. Okay. Hold on.
I'm showing live on Facebook. It shows you live.
You can see me?
I got a notification from Facebook that you're live.
Oh, okay. Because I can't see it. Okay, there we are. We're really live. Cool. All right. I'm just going to make sure that I don't hear myself.
Yep, we're live. I just checked it. We're live.
Cool. Okay, we're live. Okay, welcome you guys. This is going to be our first interview with the Commercial Christmas Collective, the next level for commercial Christmas, right? Everyone wants to know what's the next level. What do you do if you're in the Christmas industry? And we're with some big players here in the industry right now regarding Christmas, Transworld. We have Rich Bianco. Is that how you say your name?
Yeah, Bianco.
Rich and Jen.
I pronounce it Bianco, but that's fine. Yeah.
Bianco. Okay. And then Jen, how do you say your last name?
Thaler.
Okay. I'm from California. I wanted to say Thaler.
I know.
I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
Either way.
Thaler. Great to see you. I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you so much for being here. Rich is the VP of Transworld Trade Shows and Jennifer is the president. So we have some really great information for you all here today. And I know that you guys facilitate a bunch of trade shows, but Transworld, like the Room Escape Conference, the Midwest Haunters Convention, and of course, Transworld, the Haunt Show and the Christmas Show. And thank you guys so much for being here. And if you're joining us live, please put your questions into the chat. If you have any questions about it, I'll definitely get to them as soon as I can, but maybe they'll answer some of the things beforehand that you have to put in the chat. So just let us know. And so this is going to be like I said, the first episode of our next level commercial Christmas through our collective group that we have on Facebook. So glad you guys are here. And I named this one, the Glory of Transworld. So, I mean, I hear it's going to be glorious. I want to hear all about it. I'm going to give a quick rundown about what Transworld is in case people have no idea what we're talking about. I know the Christmas show part of it is taking place March 17th through the 20th of this year, the 2022. It's really going to happen. We're really going to be there at America Center in St. Louis. And I want to give a quick shout out to Universal Concepts. They're the ones who are a big premiere show sponsor. So that's great. That's amazing. You guys get sponsors to help out. And I know they have a lot of great decorations. I can't wait to see everyone's decorations. It's going to be so cool. So whoever wants to jump in and talk about what we can expect at Transworld, go ahead and jump in and let us know. Who wants to go?
All right. So, I'll just talk a little bit of the history of how we started this and where it came from. The Halloween show has been going on for many years, and there's various reasons why Christmas started, but for years we had Christmas growing into the show, and a lot of our attendees were coming and purchasing Christmas products. Universal Concepts, actually, it's kind of funny. They are probably one of our original exhibitors. They've been there for probably a decade. Greg Fullwood and his son Ryan come to the show every year, and Greg actually makes jokes to me now. He says, "Rich, he's like, I love what you did here." He said, "But I kind of liked it a lot better when I was the only guy here." He said, "Because they all came to me for the Christmas stuff." So anyway, Greg was exhibiting in the middle of the Halloween show, and people used to crack jokes to him all the time saying, "What are you doing here? This makes absolutely no sense. We got a Christmas guy in the middle of this big Halloween show." But long story short, a lot of things came together. A lot of people wanted us to expand on Christmas. Everyone from Six Flags to different amusement parks were coming to us and asking us why we didn't do more Christmas, because it seemed like a great thing for them to be able to go to one place to purchase everything for their seasonal events. So that's kind of how it came about. Eventually, we decided to start its own show and market it as a co-located show with the Halloween show. They are separate shows, but they are in the same building. The halls are connected together. So if you buy a ticket to one, you can come to both. It's not like you're buying a ticket from one show to the other, but they work together, and a lot of the buyers are similar. That's why the show worked very well for us, because we already had a lot of the amusement parks, the FECs, the zoos, the aquariums, the farms, the haunted houses, Christmas events. Pretty much anyone that did a holiday themed event was already attending our show. So Christmas just ended up being a good fit. But From there, we decided to do its own show, co-located them together. We do have different clientele buying tickets to each, but they do co-mingle and go together. And then Christmas right now is currently a 100,000 square foot hall that is filled with every lighting company that you can imagine, you know, in the United States. We do have companies coming from all over the world, but it's predominantly represented in the US. And I think every major player pretty much exhibits at our show with everything from small little lighted products all the way to like 60-foot trees in the air that are lit up at our show. So you can, it's probably the only show of its kind in the United States you can actually go to and see what the products would look like on display at your event. And that was kind of our idea. And it's one of the reasons why we are in St. Louis. We need a hall that has massively high ceilings in order to be able to put this on. We've thought about a lot of other places to put it, but being that it's in the Midwest, it's easy to get to. You can drive to it from anywhere. And the ceiling height has been very beneficial for the Christmas side of things. So that's kind of the show. Jen can discuss more of what we're doing with seminars, parties, events, and things that we do at night for the show.
So, and Rich is
Great,
right.
thank you.
We already had a well-established Halloween show, you know, back in the day, which had its own set of seminars and parties and things like that. And to Rich's point, we do have a tremendous amount of crossover between the buyer that it wants to buy, you know, for the holiday now. So we do also, though, even though the show is kind of like all under one roof, we do have seminars and parties and things like that that are geared towards the Christmas industry. That way they can have their own set of networking and the seminars and things like that that are important to them that they need to grow their business and those classes they need to take. They also have those offerings as well. So we've got a lot.
So
yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry, you're saying that this is not just for the people who are coming to buy like the theme parks and the people who are coming to buy the haunt or the Christmas decor. This is really for the vendors too, to get together and have industry parties with the people who are coming and also with each other. And that's wonderful. So
yeah, a lot of the interesting thing is like what you said, people don't really realize this, but the industry is pretty close knit. I mean, you know from experience, you've been in the industry for some time and all you guys work together. I mean, sure, there's always somebody that doesn't want to work with somebody, but for the most part, the majority of the
that
vendors,
never happens, Rich. I don't know what you're saying.
the majority of the vendors
Like a
work together.
Happy family.
Exactly. So we it's not the networking is a big part of the show that is really needed. A lot of the vendors get out at night because they're trying to sell during the day. At night, they can get together, they can run into clients, they can meet with each other, and a lot of you guys work on big projects together. So, you know, that's kind of how we saw this all coming together as well.
Yeah, it's great. Industry partnerships are wonderful to have. I mean, I don't know, I wouldn't be where I'm at without the industry partnerships and, you know, it's just one big dysfunctional family. I mean, I'm sure it's the same in the haunt industry, all the scary people. I was watching the video of the Halloween side of the show. And my son, who's 9, was like, I can't sleep now. You showed me this video of all these scary things, and it excites me. I don't know, I love it. But
our kids with poison. They've been going into haunted houses since they were like 5 years old, and it's like a joke to them. They bring one. They invite their friends. Like my 8-year-old invites his friends, and they come and they're so scared. And their parents are like, "What are you doing, taking my child to this thing?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry. Like my son's been doing it since he was 5. It's like second nature to him. He walks through like with his hat on backwards and laughing the whole time." So, but it is, when you get used to it, you grow up in it, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's great. So, so real quickly, I know you talked about having a seminar. So for someone who is in a seasonal business now, like a landscaping company, a roofing company, window washing, all that, this is an opportunity for them to go to one of the shows, one of the events you have, the seminars, to learn how to increase their profits by adding Christmas into their industry, right? So can you talk about that a little bit, like what that's about?
Yeah, so basically what we did this year is we created with cooperation of several vendors, one of them being Reinders, is sponsoring this seminar series. We have several vendors that we reached out to, and we will be doing this, you know, for years to come. We try to talk with them and try to find out what their people are needing, what type of education is needed I mean, you obviously have some guys that are already seasoned and know how to install lights, but they need furthering education. So we've come up with an entire track of seminars that is geared towards the lighting installation industry. So yes, if you're, like you were saying, if you're like a roofer, a power washer, a landscaper, somebody that has a seasonal business, and in the winter you're laying off employees and you don't have work, this is a great addition to add on to your business to be able to keep these employees all year long and to keep revenue coming in, being generated for your company all year long. So we have tracks everywhere from learning. You can take an individual class, if you chose to, or you can take this entire series if you wanted to. So say you had employees that you wanted to send out and you want to have everything from roof lining 101 or tree wrapping or dynamic RGB. We offer a whole plethora of classes that are available for you to take. You can take them individually, or you can buy them as an entire package and take them all. So it's good for, like I said, an individual employee, or bringing your entire staff in to learn how to do this. But as well as I know, there's quite a few people that are jumping into this now. It blows me away. Like I still have a home in Pennsylvania. I live in Chicago now, but I was back there with my kids, and we were driving through this little town that we have a house in, and I saw this one of those little plastic signs that somebody stuck in someone's grass, basically saying, "We install Christmas lights." And I was like, wow, this thing, it's amazing how it's blowing up, how many people are jumping into this. And I'm seeing more and more homes that are decorated now. So, the cool part about it is, yes, our seminar tracks will offer a variety of everything from furthering your education to getting in it from the beginning.
So yeah, so to Rich's point, we have a lot of different options for commercial installers. We even have X-Lights that we are doing. We're doing a 1.5-day series on that with one of the actual developers who's coming from Australia, from X-Lights, Keith Wesley.
Great.
Just added a program on Thursday. It hasn't been announced yet, that he's going to kind of do like a pre-seminar to that.
Like a 101 class, you know what I mean?
So that's going to be offered on Thursday morning at 9 a.m. So we've got a lot of different things. To Rich's point, we've got that whole installer series. We've got the X-Lights series, and then we've got the traditional Christmas seminars that'll teach you how to do different things from mapping to lighting
to putting on an event.
Yeah, to
from
putting
scratch,
on an event.
So
yeah, there's kind of something for everyone, and that was really our point. It's kind of like a salad bar. So depending what your needs are, we hope we found a way to fill them.
Yes.
Do they have salad bars anymore? Gosh, I want to go to a salad bar.
Maybe not with COVID. Maybe
that one.
Cafes have been
I love salad bars.
But yeah, we really tried hard this year to give a little bit of everything. We really tried to beef up some of our networking parties at night as well. So we really hope that everyone who comes out really enjoy it. We've got a free party on Thursday night, a mixer that we do. And then Saturday night, we're doing something like Christmas on the Farm. Kind of came up with this theme with a couple other people. And we're going to be offering, it's going to be a great time between having food and DJs and getting to ride a mechanical bull and getting to do archery and getting to do axe throwing and just a lot of fun, competitive things that you can do with your friends. We're really trying to make the activities really interactive so that people have a good time.
Okay, I haven't done axe throwing before. And one of my coworkers today, I told him, like, we're going to go to this axe throwing. And he's like, I'm not going if you have an axe, Stacey. Like, it's not going to happen.
Well,
I'm so clumsy.
A little bit. He told me safe. He or she is safe because it's going to be an inflatable version of it. So they sell these inflatables at our show where it's axe throwing, but it's a giant bullseye with like Velcro axes. So it's pretty cool. It's not the actual, we won't have the wooden ones that are on the floor with the real axes. But it's going to be similar, and it's a fully interactive party, so you'll be safe.
I don't think that would mix well with alcohol. I don't know that I'd want to do that.
They have bars like that around. I've seen them.
That is true. I just don't want the liability.
No, that's so scary. So we have a question in Facebook there. Someone asked, are these shows for residential displays as well? And I mean, I would say, yeah. I mean, of course.
So and I'll speak on that. We have a group of guys that, like last year, we did have a whole seminar series for residential. We don't have as much this year, but we're still offering that. We have some residents that come to the show that'll spend $10,000, $15,000 on their home. So like, yes, they're welcome, and they're also welcome to come take the classes. X-Lights is geared a lot towards that. So like, I think that's a good seminar for somebody to take, if they're getting into decorating their home. But we have, beyond the classes we offer, there are so many people at the show that do home lighting that it is going to be a great place for you to just network. to come to the parties and talk to
ideas.
some of these guys that do this stuff.
Yeah.
So we have groups like Holiday Think Tank, was it Holiday Lighting Think Tank? Vinny Benninger is one of the guys. He's at our show. He actually helps us both on the commercial side and the residential side. So all these guys are at our show, and it's a good place for you to come learn. And you can purchase lights too. There's quite a bit of the quality of light is probably a lot better than you're going to get in a retail store that you're going to get at ours. Ones that are going to hold up longer, that you're not going to be replacing, that you're not going to be fixing all season long.
Yeah. And the idea behind that, what I see most people, the reason that the quality is so much better is because a lot of these guys that have these companies that sell lights were part of the installation industry at one point. They come from either residential lighting or doing electrical or something with their landscaping. And so they don't want to have, you have to stand by your product. So if you have a product that's not going to work, like you're not going to want to go back and fix it yourself. So it's one of those things where, you have to have the product that makes sense for the industry that you're in. I think we have another question. Let me see here. Oh, I don't know. Rima just said that maybe owners want indoor decor. Yeah, that's true. A lot of the vendors that are there do have indoor garlands and decor packages and all of that.
Yeah, we have a lot of shopping malls that even come to the show, like to decorate the malls, and hotels come, and like Bloomingdale's comes every year. They decorate all their stores. I mean, so there's indoor and outdoor decor. It's not all just exterior lighting. A lot of this stuff is done indoors.
Yeah, and the X lights, that's like an animated lighting system, right? Something around that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm not trained in X lights, so I don't know about it, but it's more like
my understanding is
RGB
more geared towards home lighting. Yes, decorating homes and things like that. It's a programming, I guess, type of seminar where they teach you how to use it and do it. So
okay, I need to take that one, I think.
Yeah.
Especially if Keith is going to be teaching it. I mean, who better than one of the developers, to take the class from?
Yes.
Of course, right? You can ask all the questions.
And that's a huge benefit. You don't usually get that.
Yeah, he's the software developer. So like who better than to have him, teaching you how to use the software. So
yeah, definitely. So let's see. Online at the transworldchristmasshow.com. I know that Robert posted it in the Facebook chat. If anyone has questions about how to exhibit, how to attend, what hotel, how to register, all those things are all available online. So I know Zach had a question he wants to present and exhibit. So definitely go online and all the information is there.
You can reach out to me directly as well. Like I handle all that stuff with the floor and stuff. And my number, if you click on the contact button on our website, like my cell phone number's on there. So you can call me directly anytime. That's
You'll have your number now.
Yes.
And the other thing that we do offer that we didn't touch on is exhibitors who do exhibit also have a chance. We have a demo stage on the floor, and they could do a 30-minute spot to kind of showcase their product in front of the audience, which is always something that's, really important. And we also offer these exhibitor seminars that are taking place in a classroom. It's free to the attendee, and the exhibitor gets a chance to kind of promote their product, answer questions. They can promote it at their booth saying, hey, we're going to be doing a presentation on Saturday. Why don't you come see us and learn more about our products? So there's a lot of different things as well that we offer for the exhibitor to try to help them, connect them better with the buyer and get the buyer better educated on their products so that they can better utilize it.
That's great.
So yeah,
that's wonderful.
Those are some other offerings too.
Okay, great. So let's see. Shane's asking if there's going to be cookies.
Oh, Shane's going to be bringing the cookies. That's why.
Yeah, Shane will have them in his booth, the Santaland booth. Be sure to go over there. That's probably why he's saying that. But Shane is sort of like an ambassador for the show. He's one of our exhibitors. He supports the show like nobody I know, and he always has something in like at his booth for everybody. So be sure to stop by to see him.
He puts on
all right. Cookies sound good. Great. Okay, so let's see. I know I have more things to ask you guys. I'm waiting for some more responses here on Facebook. We got tons of people asking things in here. Let's see. Homeowners. All right. Well, yep. Shane gave you some hearts. He's happy about the all right.
Questions that do come up, Stacey, afterwards, and people like to Rich's point want to contact him. We're happy to answer questions about the seminars or hotels or exhibit space or whatever else, people may think about after they watch the podcast.
Okay, great. And sometimes people want to know too, like what brought you into this industry? Like why did you start doing Halloween or Christmas, or like, do you guys want to talk about that for
Yeah,
a second
sure.
and tell us why?
Halloween kind of springboarded off a Halloween costume and party show, which actually got started off a general merchandise show. It's funny. I mean, if you really were to look back the lineage of all of it, but it was just kind of one of those things. We started getting into the costume industry and then of the business. And then that kind of started getting us into I call it the haunt side of it, where it was more about the entertainment aspect of Halloween as opposed to just the costumes. And that started growing. And then with that, we just started getting into more holiday. And then people that ended up doing things for Halloween started doing things for Christmas as well. And then they started doing things for Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day. And then people just started theming out more for holidays. They were seeing it as another way to source a revenue, whether that was a family entertainment center or like you guys know that now the booze at the zoos started it, the farms started it. So everyone's kind of theming out for seasons. So that started happening, our show continued to grow and we just started to expand into different categories.
That makes perfect sense.
So, yeah, one thing springboarded into another.
Did you always want to be in Halloween, Rich?
My story getting into the industry is kind of interesting. I used to play professional paintball. There is such a thing. And it wasn't what I did for a living, but I played.
The 90s were a great time. That's all I know.
Yes.
We won't talk. There weren't cell phones back then. There's no video evidence of any of it. There was no social media. So it did exist. The 90s happened.
Sorry. But that's where I came from. And I actually exhibited at Transworld. I started exhibiting there 10 years ago. And I did so well. I had a 10 by 10 booth and I brought a lot of the paintball stuff into the industry. So they had like zombie shoots and all this different stuff that I was behind a lot of it. And when I came in, but it was kind of interesting. Jen walked by my booth and she was selling booths. And I was so excited because like we did this crazy amount of business in this 10 by 10 and we were way back in the back of the show. And I saw her walk by and I saw her soliciting everybody and she went right past our booth. And I was like, what's the deal? Like, what's
wrong with me?
I grabbed her and I says like, hey, are we like a mirage over here? And she just stepped back and says, this is why I ended up working for Jen because of it. She said, I just don't think you're a fit. Like I wouldn't for our next show. I really don't like to solicit exhibitors to try to get money out of them when I don't think that you're going to do well in our show. And that's kind of our motto at our show to begin with. We can never say that someone's going to do well, but that's how we kind of sell the show. We try to solicit people that actually we think are going to be successful, even if they don't see it. But long story short, I was like, I'll take the contract. And I filled it out. I bought a booth, whatever. And for whatever reason, I never filled out the credit card portion of it by accident, I guess, or whatever. But Jen was calling.
Imagine that.
I eventually answered her call. I wanted to get more into Halloween because it was something we were doing at my paintball field that I owned. And I own retail stores and I own a paintball field. And we started doing Halloween. Then we did a zombie ride and all this stuff. And then she asked me to help her out with the show.
It's funny because we were trying to get more into paintball because we were seeing how paintball fields were starting to theme out for Halloween. But I wasn't
exactly
success with it. So when I talked to Rich, he was like, I have all these contacts for all these manufacturers. And lo and behold, he wasn't kidding. And he brought me out to a paintball event and literally every paintball company sat down with me. And by the end of that event, we had, I think like 40,000 square feet of paintball at our show.
Wow.
Paintball pavilion was born.
Yeah.
And that was great. And then from there, we just started working together. So that's kind of how that happened. It was kind of by accident, but I feel very fortunate.
Anyway,
I don't know that Rich does, but
I got to be honest. I liked Halloween and I liked Christmas, but I was never somebody that was like a big enthusiast where I was going to haunted houses all the time and everything. Now I go to every one that I can in the country. Like I travel all over the United States trying to go to them. I love it. My kids love it. Like we go on trips all the time, specifically to go to Christmas events and Halloween events. So that's what we do now. I kind of stumbled into it, but I love it. Like I enjoy it a lot. What I enjoy the most is the networking with a lot of the vendors and stuff. Some of them have become my friends, you know what I mean? And where I tease them about their favorite football team and how bad they are, like I'm from Pittsburgh, so I hate the Cleveland Browns. And my friends that are support Cleveland, I rip on them all the time. And even though we were awful this year, I was just happy to pound the Cleveland Browns twice this year. That's what mattered me to me. So for me, that's the kind of relationships I've formed. It's fun. Like it's been a lot of fun.
I'm from California. I have no loyalty to any football team.
Well, the problem is your teams change, yearly to what city they're in, so it's hard to be
I
loyal.
have no idea who our team is now. No clue.
Yeah, you have one about to go to the Super Bowl, so that's good. Well, two.
I guess I should be on board with that. I don't know.
One will be going to the Super Bowl because you have two from your conference that they're playing each other, and one has to go. So that's nice.
Well, thanks for educating me on that. I had no clue. I'm gonna pick one. What are the team names again, so I can pick one?
You got San Francisco or LA, whichever one you want to go with. So the Rams. And
the Rams, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I
think I have to go for the Rams. They're closer.
Yeah, and they
I'm in
built
Southern
that $1 million
California.
stadium, so you gotta.
I love St. Louis.
Yeah, they left the city that we're putting our show on.
Oh.
People in that town are pretty upset about it, that they have a team possibly going to the Super Bowl now.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah, it's that Hollywood glamour out here in LA. You get that
I guess.
exposure, and yeah, they're wild out here. So I think we have another question. It says, this is for Rich. Do you have an email address? They want to contact you via email. I'm sure they can find that online somewhere.
I do. It's simple. It's just rich@haashow.com.
That sounds easy.
And it is
Okay,
on the
and then
website
when-
under the contact button.
Okay, great. So when will the seminar schedule be online?
It is
another
right now.
question we have.
It's current.
It's
now, right
It
now.
went
That's
on last
like
night,
magic.
the
It just,
email
you
blast.
ask the question, it's bam, it's there.
We did it
We
as
just
you
did
were.
it.
So it's
for you.
online now.
Yeah, no, it's online now. There'll be more descriptions
just said-
coming, but everything got, my IT guy, everyone's been unfortunately sick with COVID. We've been like with half our staff, but everything got rolled out last night.
Yeah,
So it is for
that was going to
sale.
be my next question about COVID. Like, I know like you're going to have to follow whatever the rules are in St. Louis for that and everything, but how have you seen this industry change because of COVID? Like, what have you guys had to do?
Well,
Have you been
from a
tackling
trade
it?
show perspective, it's been very tough to navigate. I mean, we had a
Yeah.
show in 2020, obviously, that a couple days prior got canceled. So that was rough, with especially the fact that all the expenses and everything were done for the show. So that was hard for us. But in terms of the haunted houses and what we're seeing for Christmas, it seems like a lot of events that are able to open are very successful. It seemed like even in the COVID year last year, because a lot of the sporting events and other things were shut down, it seemed like Christmas and Halloween got a chance to really flourish for those events that did get to open.
Right.
So it seems that, even when I spoke with people this year, it sounds like everyone had really good seasons. And it sounds
Yeah.
like even from a residential perspective, people are decorating their homes more, whether that be with Christmas or Halloween. So I feel like for the
Yeah.
market, in terms of the events, they've been pretty strong. Now, in terms of getting product in, I don't know if that, I've heard for some people that's been challenging this year, more so than even the year of COVID.
It's going to be interesting to watch what happens this year. And my advice to everybody is get your orders in now. If you're looking to order something early, now is the time. By the middle of next month, it's, you're not going to be able to get anything if we even can get what we want to get this year. Right. So it's just get it in now. Early orders are important. I always say, and this is my own thing. I've been in the industry now. This is the 19th year I think I've been in Christmas, and it's like childbirth. I don't know if you had, well, Jen, you may have, but when I had my kids, like I was designed to forget all that pain, right, of childbirth. So I'd like have more kids. I feel like Christmas is the same way. Like I just can go through a season and it's like the worst pain and all this drama and struggle, like childbirth. And then the baby's born and you're in love and everything's fine. And like the Christmas tree is up and the baby is born. And then you forget how horrible it was. I think we're kind of in that like, after the baby's born, you have that 6 weeks of like recovering. That's kind of where we're at right now. That's how I feel in the industry. It's the recovery time from that, that the birth of Christmas. So
You guys did all the setups, tear downs, and now,
yeah. And then we do it all again. Christmas is coming no matter what. It's going to happen again. So here we go.
It comes
Get
every
ready.
year.
It comes every year, whether I'm ready or not.
And I think that's two really good things too about the reason that the industries are so strong, because Christmas is such a strong industry and Halloween is such a strong industry, that I also think that's why the shows are so important too, because these holidays are very important to people. They're the traditions to celebrate in their homes. So Yeah.
Yeah. And with everyone being home so much, they're really seeing the things about their home that they get to spend time at home, where when everyone's working in an office, you don't get to be home. So now people are home, they want to make their houses and look the best, and they want to have events for their families. And so it's just, I think it's great. I think the industry is definitely changing and evolving in a really positive way. And you providing this show to get everyone together is just really great. It's the only show like this in the US. There's nothing else like this.
Yeah, we
that we can go
appreciate that.
to.
And honestly, we're like a hands-on company. You could call us at like 10 o'clock at night. We're on the phone constantly with exhibitors and buyers. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're a one booth guy or a guy that's getting 30 booths at our show, like, we want to hear the show is for the industry. It's not for us. Like, clearly we do this for a living, but the goal is to make it work for everybody, to create a level playing field, to get everyone together, to be able to network and make it stronger. So like, if you have ideas or anything, like, we're always willing to listen.
That's great. So let me see if some more questions. When will the exhibitor portal open up? That's a question.
As in the exhibitor list? So like, if that's what they mean by portal, yeah, that would be my guess. Yeah, all the exhibitors I just completed the floor plan last night, and I do apologize. It's usually up long before this. The reason why it's been delayed is it's really been the Christmas side is what's delayed us a lot, and it's not anyone's fault.
It's Christmas people.
Well, no, the issue was a lot of the vendors were so busy this year, and it was a weird year. So like, where you excelled in one place, another place you may have lacked. And like, I think we had a hard time getting people to commit of the exact space they needed and all that. Like, the floor is packed. I will tell you that it's going to be hard to find space like at this point, but we do have space left, and we can expand. We always can do that. But it's a very strong show. You're going to be very excited to see who's there and what's displayed and how great it looks. But that being said, like, it was hard for me to get the floor plan set up. It's like putting Legos together and figuring out how to put them where they are and making everybody happy so that they don't feel like they were stuffed in some corner. You know what I mean? It's always a tough situation like that when you're building a show. So we don't always understand the traffic flow until it's done for a couple of years. So it's been tough. And then last year we had to back up the show to May because of COVID. So we only had 10 months to put the show together this year. So there are some things behind, but the floor plan is completed. I'm waiting on the IT department to populate all the names of the people in their specific booths. So that'll go live. But if somebody needed a copy of the floor plan to see how it's laid out, again, reach out to me, email me. I'm happy to email you a layout so you can see it. The exhibitor list will go live, I guarantee you, before this week's over. The names will be populated.
Great. Yeah, I think that's what they're wondering. They just want to know, when is it? Who's coming?
It was just, everything was supposed to be geared in the last 2 weeks, and honestly, half our staff has been down with COVID.
Yes.
So it's just been, and myself included.
Yeah, that's I'm so sorry to hear that.
Apologize for the delay. That's on us, a little bit of that too.
Yeah, well, just, if you want to come, if people are coming, to all of our listeners out there, get registered, get booked, email, call them now, make it happen now. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. We're almost there. So it's going to be really fun.
Hotels are starting to fill up and sell out on certain nights. So you definitely want to make sure you book your rooms. And if you're having trouble getting rooms at certain hotels, feel free to shoot me an email and we'll see if we can work any magic. But, a lot of rooms are just going fast. So
yeah, and speaking of those, on the website, if you click on the travel button, there's a drop down button and it has hotels as one of the drop downs. Just click on it. It has a list of hotels that are in the area that are close. Some are right across the street. There's discounted rates when you book through the link. And there's a lot of hotels right there, right across the street from the convention center.
Yeah. Last year was the first year I went to the show, and it was so much fun. I did share about, in like your last interview with someone, that I twisted my ankle on one of those little ride scooter things, and it was horrible. I couldn't walk for 2 days.
They were a little crazy last year. They were everywhere, those things.
I know.
It was wild. I was on the way to the casino. I was riding the casino, what do you do when you're downtown? You ride your scooter to the casino at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? That's what you do. Normal stuff. And I turned and I hit like a rock and just, like when you over exert yourself because you don't want to fall. And I didn't fall on my face. I just twisted my ankle under the thing. And yeah, it was not good.
There's an underground
I survived
tunnel to get there. So
Yeah, you can go.
There's a what?
Tunnel. There's an underground tunnel to go to the casino.
No, there's not.
It's all
There
lit
is.
and it has a moving walkway and everything.
Yeah, so right where the
Why
jury is.
do I not
behind it-
know this?
Yes,
Mhm.
behind the jury, there's an escalator that goes down into the ground and then you can walk underground to get to it.
But
So
it's nice. and
it'll be
it's
colder
nicely lit.
in March, so you're
You may
probably,
want to do
you
that,
may
not
want to
take
do
the
that.
scooter.
It won't be in May
Mhm.
this year, so.
Okay, I'm gonna take the underground secret tunnel, the portal to
Yeah.
the casino,
the portal.
and hopefully win again. I played 3-card poker, so it was fun. I like to play. Okay, so someone asked, oh, Debbie's just making a comment. Debbie said, we need more Christmas seminars, not enough in the past with good contact and subject matter. Maybe she meant context, but yeah. So we
Well,
you
hopefully
have
she
that,
can-
right? It's happening.
Hopefully she'll like them better
Yeah,
now.
have her take a look and feel free to reach out to Jen and talk to her because we always like advice on what people are looking for.
Yeah.
So like her cell phone number's on there as well. Feel free to reach out. Jen's a little tougher to get a hold of than me because her phone nonstop ringing, but for the most part, she'll talk to you about the seminars because she handles
Popular.
a lot of that.
Mhm. Yes.
Okay, well, great. So I think that's all the time I'm going to take for your day today. I don't want to keep you on too much longer. And I think we answered a lot of questions for your listeners and the people who are coming. And I do appreciate you guys so much for being here and taking the time to be here with me today. And if I left anything out, just, people will probably be on the Facebook messaging us later. And when this is on YouTube and stuff. So
you.
what we already said, where can they find you online? How can they contact you? Email, cell phone, the website.
Yep.
Right. And that's, you said I could call you at 10 p.m. and text you all night. So I'm just
You
gonna,
actually, it's funny. I had an exhibitor pay me a compliment today. He said, Rich, it doesn't matter when I text you, you always answer. He's like, how do you do that? I'm like,
Aw.
I just, if I have my phone and it's a customer, I generally answer. So
He won't answer
That's
5
great.
calls, but he'll answer for someone else.
that's the intention.
yeah, he's busy. Yeah.
Busy.
Okay.
Sorry, I missed that call. Jen.
All right. So I'm going to, my one last question, which I forgot earlier. Which Enneagram type are you?
That we can't, neither of us can answer. I don't know.
I don't know. I've never done.
You
the
have
test.
no idea. Okay.
No
Because you
idea.
haven't taken the test. So I love the Enneagram test. If you haven't heard of it, it's just a personality test online. It's totally free. You can find the free ones. You don't have to join anything or anything like that. And it tells you your different personalities. There's 9 different types of Enneagram. So it's I'm a 3 with a 4 wing, and you don't know what that means, but it's pretty funny. It's good. So figure it out. So next time I talk to you guys, you can tell me which
We will
number
do
you
that.
are. You can text me what you are. Just Google Enneagram, ENNEGRAM, and it's cool. I just like to know. I'm interested in psychology and personalities and what kind of people you guys are. So, you do so much for other people in your job, and your personalities or the way they are. I'm super interested in finding out what that is, what makes you guys who you are. Cause
Rich says
it's not, maybe she's a 3 too. We'll see.
That's all I hear.
You might follow with you. I'm probably the other end of the spectrum, like a 9 or a 10 or something. I don't know. Whatever that is.
It's detail oriented, not controlling, right?
Yeah.
Very detailed.
I've never
and
heard Rich tell me it's
persistent.
detail oriented.
That's a very polite way of saying that. I'm going to change my vocabulary to start using that. You're very detail oriented.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm going to say going forward.
Yeah.
I lost you. Guys. I couldn't hear the last thing. Oh my gosh.
Can
I'm
you hear me
sorry.
now?
Everything froze on my screen.
So I was saying that I'm going to use that verbiage going forward. It's a lot more polite than the
Detail
controlling-
oriented.
Yeah,
Mhm.
detail oriented.
Yeah.
I'll have to keep that in my vocabulary now.
Mhm.
I think that Jen is very passionate about what she does.
That's true.
Yes, I care.
She does care about everything. It doesn't
Passionate,
matter what it is. Yeah.
Detailed, persistent, right?
Yeah.
We'll use those words.
Very-
Yes, better than controlling.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've been called lots of things. So
Well, thank you so
But
much
very-
for having us.
Yeah.
And we hope that obviously this is a show that, we're still building upon. It's still new. Unfortunately, because of COVID,
Yeah.
we lost a year. So this is really going to be, even though it's our 3rd year, I feel like it's really only our 2nd, because last year was so crazy trying to make everything work during those, heavy
Right.
COVID times and restrictions.
Yeah.
So, if we appreciate everyone bearing with us as, we kind of muddle through it. I know last year, a lot of the theme parks and things like that, they just simply weren't allowed to come to the show. They couldn't travel.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
I even got an email from Spirit Halloween this year saying that, they're green light, they can come. So hopefully a lot of the theme parks and everyone else, from what we've seen in a lot of zoos, they seem to be signing up and able to travel. So that's great. Hopefully that will equate to dollars on the show floor for a lot of the Christmas guys. So we're excited about
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the time today. I appreciate you all very much and looking forward to see you guys in March. I'm excited. And if I get any questions, I'll send everybody your way for
All right,
everything
thanks,
else for the
Stacey.
show.
that.
Thanks for
All
having
right. Thank you so much,
Bye.
guys.
Take care. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
You too.